I'm curious about how you see yourself as a creator of a piece. You forecast a great deal in this film. You have water drops, and then you have acorn, and then you have, I mean, there are lots of ways in which you give the audience clues that are very symbolic in their way, but they're also clues as to what's going to happen. And we sit here and we kind of piece them together, and you let us feel smart about that. So I'm wondering whether you do this consciously, and when you are actually in the process of creating a script and or editing the film, you put yourself, in addition to the role of being creator, in the role of being the audience to your own work.
Yeah, I believe that I am the audience, but I am as myself a very stupid audience. I went to university to study film, and we did a lot of these things, with raindrops, water drops, and acorns or whatever. But that is definitely not the way I work. It comes from other sources of the cinematic impact, or poetry, or just some strange kind of logic that is maybe only in my head. One thing is to analyze a film, which I've also done a lot. But another thing is to make it. I do not think of the connection between water drops and acorns when I write it.
Second row.
I wonder at what point did you decide to dedicate the film to Andrzej Tarkowski, and why?
I must say Andrzej Tarkowski has been very, very important for me. I discovered him while I was in film school, and when I saw The Mirror first time, it took me days to come over. I have stolen so much from Tarkowski over the years that in order not to get arrested, I had to dedicate the film to him. I should have done it a long time ago, and it's sincerely meant. I'm a very big fan.
Hi, Michael Vasquez, Huffington Post. Sorry to ask you to elucidate with words further what you've already done on screen, but two questions. Are there specific coping mechanisms society uses that you wanted to strip away and force your audiences to kind of confront here? And secondly, by way of my own superimposition, did Nietzsche's concept that man finds nature abhorrent play into this at all? And did Bergman's persona, whereas you have one man sending two women to an island, one of whom wanted a dead baby, to examine their own and sort of reverse roles, did that play a role in this, except you sent a male and a female, which may not have anything to do with this?
Did you hear that, and did everyone hear that?
No, I'm very happy to say I couldn't hear the question, so you have to...
Yeah,
it's just it sounded very complicated, and then there was a lot more, so please
It is complicated, and sorry to ask you to elucidate with words further what you've already done on screen. Sorry about that. I've forgotten my question. Did a couple of... Well, I've got the question back. Were there specific mechanisms, coping mechanisms, that society uses that you would have liked to have seen stripped away for your audiences to kind of confront? And secondly, did Nietzsche's concept that...
Maybe we could just do one question at a time.
Sure.
So,
yeah, then I would feel safe if you only do one at a time. I don't think I have an agenda like that with the films I'm doing. I do films very much for my own sake, and not to have any. I don't have any idea on how it would, reflect on society.
Yeah, did Nietzsche's concept that humans find nature abhorrent play into this? And I was thinking of Ingmar Bergman's persona, where he sends two women, one of whom wanted a dead baby, to a remote island, and they kind of transfer roles, and one who had been comfortable with these mechanisms falls apart. Did that play in at all, except he sent a man and a woman back to Eden, or not even a thought?
Well, Persona is a film I like very much. Persona is a film I like very much. Nietzsche, I'm not so. I'm not. I don't know enough about Nietzsche. My problem was that I've had this Antichrist book laying on my table by the bed for now 40 years, and I haven't opened it yet. So, but the title I know. No, I don't want to say anything about Nietzsche. Other than he in a film suddenly embraced a horse, called it Wagner, which I like. Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm told there's time for only one more question.
Sorry.
You've had your hand up for a while.
You had some very interesting researchers listed in the credits, including a researcher on misogyny. In the writing or making of the film, did you learn something about misogyny in yourself, in your work, or how it was depicted in the film?
Well, it has mostly to do with the things that the female character in the film was working with in her thesis, and some of the quotations. Yeah, she did a very big job. I didn't do very much of it. I'm in a situation where I can put people to do a lot of research and then only get kind of the fundamental stuff out of it. I don't know if I learned anything about if I hated women more than before, or I like to be with women. That's I don't think the film really has so much to do with, this is, it could have been the other way around. I don't think the film is about, whether women are good or not. I of course believe that women are as bad as men.
Okay, we can take one final question. Over there.
Hi, what do you think are the basic elements that turn a horror film into a classic?
Box office.
I think that Psycho is a classic not because it was scary. It was, I remember, quite scary, but I don't think that a horror film that is the scary things that, or anyway, it's not what I remember. I remember a style and a mood, and the good thing about horror film is that it gives you room for a lot of things and room for a lot of strange pictures or whatever. And I didn't find The Shining very scary when I saw it, but today I'm not in doubt that it's very big. I think it, as all other films, has to do with the personality that you feel in the film. I think that's what I can say.
Okay, that's all we have time for. Thank you very much for joining us.